Oh my god. I forgot to ping. Okay. Oops. Wait, okay, I need to like drag chat in and everything. Hold on. Where are all my windows? Did I like fucking like not do this yet? I have like a whole like regimen of windows set up and all this shit to read chat and everything before the stream, and I just didn't do that. Fembread more like fem stupid. How about you die? Mark D's, welcome to the stream. Oh, Mark D's nice. Slightly messing up the ping. It is kind of like a grave issue that I did that. You know, I don't think anyone's gonna be here for the stream anymore. So, all right. Okay, but yeah. So, the EP, it's out, fully out. What did we think? Did we think it was good? Because I thought it was like all right. At least, I don't know, like it was fine. No, it was really good. I really liked it. I really liked how it came out. And I'm glad that I selected that the head rolling flip as a track to be on that EP. And I'm kind of glad that I canned the Take K one too. But like because that one, the head rolling flip, that should blow up on TikTok. So like, you know, no, I didn't blow up on TikTok. It got like 10K views, which for Daria, it's like not bad, you know. Like it's a kind of a small sphere. It didn't break normie sphere, you know. But like no one from there really went to check the music out. Not like I went to be like, hey, this is the song from SoundCloud, go check it out, and link in the fucking bio. No, like I feel like it wouldn't have done as well as it did, you know. And so now it exists purely as a cesspool of a comment section, purely stemming from rage baits and nothing else. I forgot to tab so the chat didn't refresh. Now look, don't forget.
Yes.
Oh my god, Mark D's subscribed to the fucking channel. Oh my god. Don't forget that emote exists. Hun. I have to like link it betterttv.com and then ping it. First non-huffer? No, there's a couple. There's actually like a couple. It's weird. And also, I need your help. Chat, while I still have Discord open, because I might close it if it's too graphically intense. I need, as you can see, the GIF is the same as last week. You know, I kind of want to change the GIF to a weekly thing as opposed to a daily thing. I think it's funnier. To really let it like simmer. Now, this has been the same one. I need a new GIF. So actually, I'll open up memes because maybe people might not have pick perms. Can somebody send me one? Can someone put a GIF in memes that I can use to put up here for the duration of the entire stream? So use wisely. It's gonna be there for like the whole week too, unless like I decide tomorrow all of a sudden I just fucking hate it. But like choose wisely. And I really need a new GIF. This is super important. You gotta lock in. I'm calling on the A team here. All right. And if it turns out that I've been talking to a brick wall, well then shit. You know? Please, my PC's not frozen. Okay. This one's really good. Ohio Ascension is kind of funny. It's not like shitposty enough. It would kind of look funny if it was stretched all the way out, because it's going to be like stretched. The guy is kind of hard to see, but I like the guy. I like the bunny. Or the OG. What's the OG? Are you finding it? I'm going to assume he's finding it. This is very important matters. Okay, we have to get through this before we can even touch the music. This one's kind of funny. I kind of want to use this. I'm gonna just save this just to have it. I don't know why I don't already have a brick wall GIF. The brick wall image did plague a lot of group chats, though. I feel like there was a period of time where that shit was going triple platinum, and just whenever some friend says some bullshit. You know what? Okay, I've made my decision, and I think I chose well. No, wait. Get the fuck. No, dude. Okay. Please don't fucking, like, dox me. Alright, cool. Save image as... Yes. It is mine now. Oh, I'm not fucking using that. I'm sorry. But it is kind of funny. I'll keep it innocent. What the fuck? What was the file even called? I forgot. Corbana. I would abandon him? I mean, if it was like, if I was a way bigger community and I had no idea who this person was, yeah, no, like, they're getting out of here. But it's Cardboardian, so it's like, it's the antics. It's the antics, you know. I won't have the mods behead him for now. Okay, so there's the rabbit. It's kind of corrupt. I need to, like, uncrop it. And as predicted, it's almost impossible to see, but you can just barely make it out, which I think is honestly perfect. So now I need to make it fit in FL. She threatened to ban me last time, by the way. I think you were being, like, really annoying. I forgot. Okay, perfect. Oh my god, that's literally it. Awesome. We got it. Cool. Okay, and with that, we can continue. Or rather, we can begin. We can begin. Where's Aelin? Let's not fucking worry about it, okay? I think... Fuck, I'm always annoying. Wait, why the fuck is my activity feed broken again? This bullshit, bro. This never works. Alright. Well, you're familiar with the track, you know. It starts off with the piano intro. And then here. I'm gonna try to... I mean, I want to play it out, but everyone here has heard it a million times, probably, from me making it. Maybe not CGX, though. That might be my one excuse. Saw that one vid of you making beats in a fucking... laundromat? What? Huh? Laundromats? Let's stream it up now, guys. Yeah. All right. Well, I like to stream. I'll just play it start to finish for the culture, but I'm confident it's gonna lag. I am so confident it's gonna lag. I am so confident it's gonna lag. It's gonna suck. Bitch. Don't talk shit about me. You know it makes me mad. It comes back to bite you. Idiots. I feel so surrounded by all these devils. I ended up replacing that with the original. Why is that still there? Huh? What? Why is this still here? Wait, this is... Oh, is this not the right file? You have a custom FL theme? Not at all. Not even close. Or, I mean, I have like a... Oh, kind of. More like a regimen. Is this an old file? It is. Oopsies. Oh, God. Wait, that's actually terrible. Save changes? No. Triplet... Coring... Is it 3? But I have like a whole like preset. Yeah. I do have one of those fucking templates with like my serums loaded with the presets I generally use. Or it's kind of outdated. Sounded British for a second there. Maybe that was the point. Maybe there was some intention behind it. Like the stream, by the way. I just, you know, if I scared you, I'm sorry, but I'm not. You know, I almost had to unsub. What the fuck? Okay, at least I'm not like French. At least I didn't impersonate the French, okay? Like, my internet's so buns and no burger. That's tragic. No burger is fucking tragic too, like. I think it's this. Fem don't do that? Okay, fine. I think it's this, and it's idling at a solid 40 CPU usage with Smart Disable turned on. Oh my god. Okay, this makes a lot more sense. I'm like, wait, that project is not as big as I remember it. But no, yeah, this is it. This is all of it. Jesus fuck. There's like two. There's like two different side. There's three side chains. I don't even think I used the low end chain. I did. What? What? This is like so try hard. Okay, I can't wait to break this down actually. Wait, okay. It's gonna lag. It's gonna lag so hard, by the way. It's like, it's gonna be impossible to play. There we go. Now from the top, again. A trip down memory fucking lane.
Don't talk shit about me. You know it makes me mad. It comes back to bite you. Idiots. I feel so surrounded by all these devils
Yeah, no. FL does not seem to like this. Right, okay. Now, fun fact, I still feel about the second part. It's a weirdly long story, and I think it's because of how it even came to be. But let's break this down, shall we? Let's break this down, shall we? Let's get really into the weeds of it. What the fuck went into it? So you can maybe take some stuff away from it, or you know, if you're like hardboarding and you don't even fucking make music, like it's you just kind of like looking at the pretty software do its thing. Right. Right, so let's start with the intro. Simple. And this intro I've had on my computer for some time now. Fulcrum does nitrous, bruh, he has fried himself. If I go to the properties of this, sound at Aussie for a second time, international stream. Yeah, basically. This is almost to the day a year old. This intro, and I decided to dig it up to make this track like a bit ago. As you can see, I actually no, it is organized. Never mind, it used to not be. But it's just kind of I'm actually fucking quitting millimeters, or I'm unpinning this. She's switching location with the VPNs, so she sounded different. Very true. Fucking tongue twister. I don't know the piano, bro. What the fuck? Why can't I see it? Oh, it's labs. That's why. Love this chord. I don't know how to explain it. Sorry. I wish I could break down the music theory behind it, but I know that it's you know, fifth. That's the sus2, and then that's the major 7, the octave to that, and then just kind of go down a scale, skip a notes, and then that last one just kind of introduces all of that like dissonance, you know, completes the wall of sounds. And then I just start automating in a bunch of random bullshit. Like I basically just make it up as I go. So I'm automating in, there's like a patcher that has a bunch of crazy shit on it. The beauty, or no, is it this? Where is the patcher? I know there's like a patcher with like some shit on it. It is not 97. Oh yeah, because it's all the way over here for some reason. Not many tracks to spare. I mean, I'm not using this one, or no, this one, so like I don't know why that's even there, but whatever, right? Sus2 2020 joke punchline. Punchline indeed, that shit did punch me in the fucking face. Okay, right, so like the piano. The patcher with convolver, which is just kind of adding stereo to it for some reason on the wet signal, with an effector that's automating in some bit crush, with an LFO tool that's automating the volume, and I'm changing the speed of that with a high pass kind of happening. And there's already a bit crush on it to mix some compression, a lot of gain input to compress in the first place, or to limit, I think. I don't know. I think it's just limiting, yeah. And I'm pretty sure I'm running a wave shaper at the end so that I can, when the gain gets increased on the tail, like that I'm adding here, like all this effect shit, it just gets distorted. Or as distorted as it could possibly get. Why? Okay, there we go. So like, you remember that channel called 2020 Vision of Project Death and got it right? No idea. So that's all that layer is. You know, very simple with a filter sweep just to kind of recreate that filter goodness. And then I'm fading in this thing that I just have lying around, which is like let me go ahead and turn all the effects off on this. It's just like one of my favorite chords in the world. And one of my piano VSTs just kind of holds out notes forever. So I had to get like a super long audio file of this. And it comes in very handy. Like here, I just kind of fade it in. Wait, I just kind of fade it in. Just a filter. Shut up! Just a filter sweep and some distortion. I was automating in, or I think I am. No, I was automating in like some reverb, but then I decided against it. I think it just added way too much shit. So there's still some leftover automation clips from that. And then lasto, but not leasto. It's, I'm just fading in a Reese really loud. And here's the thing that completes the grit, the distortion, to really nail that sound at the end. All of these sounds, this, and the Reese, where is it? Here. They're all being routed through my patented, not actually, bass clipper. This little patcher preset I made for myself, super useful. I bring it up all the time because I use it all the time. Essentially, brings in some bass, takes out the exact amount of bass it brought in, and in between those two EQs, there's a clipper. So you're just basically clipping in the bass and taking away, you know, the bass that it added, so that it doesn't like like your sub kind of stays at the same level, but it clips everything else. But it can fuck with the fundamental, you know, of course, but like if you're pushing in so much sub into a clipper anyway, you kind of do want it to pull it back. In some cases, you know, it's not like a solves every single use case sort of thing, but it definitely helps here because without it, there wouldn't be nearly as much grits. Like there's still that bit of distortion at the end, or that bit of distortion sound. Most of it comes from the reese itself being like the filter in it. When that high end comes in, it just kind of tricks you into making it sound like it's a bit more distorted. But that bass clipper is everything. It adds all that grit. There it is. One day I'll be good enough at music to get a track of fembread. I think by the time that happens, I'll either not be doing music or like I don't know. We will diverge paths. So yeah, but yeah, that's the intro. Super simple. Obviously, I'm not the greatest at sound design, so I compensate by making nice sounding chords. And now for basically what started the whole track, because I made this whole track left to right. Usually I don't, not usually. I mean, a lot of the times it doesn't really happen, but like I made it left to right. It's beginning to end, intro first. Very weird for me to do that, but like it kind of helps sometimes because like this section sounds nice.
Don't talk shit about me. You know it makes me mad. It comes back to bite you, idiot. I feel so surrounded while these pebbles go.
Cool. So I really like classic sounding saws, and for this I just felt that the chord progression needed to have a bit of a retro flavor to it, and I don't know what it is about the way this chord progression just kind of like harmonizes, but it just sounds super like 2010. You know what I mean? Like it just and you can hear I'm using the bass from that too. Because I'm like, if I'm going to be using bass in a section, I don't want it to be super like hard. You know, if it's equally as hard as the bass in the drop, then the bass in the drop doesn't feel like bass at all. Right? You know, the human ear is very comparison driven. Right? So you got to take advantage of that wherever possible. But no, just a basic Moog with a French low pass for some reason, because I'm fucking psycho like that. And I like using any like low pass filter that isn't just the default low pass filter, so that I can get some cooler sounding, you know, filter work. Like that particular sound wouldn't necessarily be quite possible with the normal filter. Does it make it F dariacore because it has French genes? I'm gonna kill you. And you know, just kind of layer it with a fucking basic ass saw arp. Like, this is very rudimentary stuff. Kind of also from the same era. And then I just like kind of added some barely audible layer too. Actually, no, it's not barely audible. It becomes very audible. You know, automating the detune, putting it back down right at the end. And I guess I had another idea here, but it sucked? Question mark? What the? I'm not playing that. You're funny. Never mind. But yeah, super rudimentary, and I just fucking, I'm not even doing anything like normally in the intros to your Darias, your hyper frips, you're like, you know, like fucking, you're sampling the hell out of the vocal and doing some crazy shit. I just didn't. I don't know. I didn't feel like it, and I thought it sounded nice as is. I'm just letting everything kind of build, and I'm like just filtering in the fucking California Girls vocal as everything's kind of building. I'm just using a very standard break that I just kind of chopped up lazily. But it really has that punch. Oh yeah, that punch. Maximus is usually like your best friend when it comes to this sort of stuff. Like, making the transients kind of poke out more, or just, you know, making the tails less loud sounding. Depending on the audio file you're working with, you can kind of get away with doing shit like this to make your breaks sound choppier. Just slightly. Just ever so slightly, you know, and then compress it so the transient's nice and snappy. And just EQ it twice. You don't have to EQ it twice. Don't be stupid. You know, I'm stupid, so I do it twice sometimes. If you need to use 2 EQs, something's wrong. But like, this is Hyperflip. Everything's wrong. From the moment you open the FLP, it's wrong. But like, you know, we don't talk about that. And claps, because if the claps weren't there, it would not. There's nothing. Don't talk shit about me. You know like. Don't talk shit about me. You know it makes me mad. It comes back to bite you, idiot. I do that shit a lot too. That's how far I gotta scroll down to find a laser. Crazy. But yeah, no, whatever. I mean, that's the intro. It's super simple. But it's more just like effective arranging than like above all else. Because like, you know, you can be as cool as you want, but like, if your shit's not put together in a way that is, you know, has the builds actually build, the drops actually drop, you know, sort of thing, like everything gets lost in translation. Doesn't matter how many times you EQ. What? No, just do it once. I mean, like, it's not like, okay. It's more like, okay, I EQ'd it a certain way, but now I need to take the sound that I got as a result of doing this and EQ that sound in a certain way too. I'm like, oh, I need to add bass to that sound. So like you can definitely like, there's logic behind the decision sometimes, you know, and if the end result is good, it's good. But like if you feel the need to EQ 3 times like back to back to back, and you're not like doing some very specific like filter work or like trying to do like a Combs filter, like homemade for some reason. If you're not doing any of that, then like what are you doing? Unless it's like you're EQing and then a bunch of distortion plugins, a bunch of random ass plugins, EQ it again, bunch of like that's different. That's just like, you know, you're EQing the iterations of a sound as it's developing. Very important before we get to the drop. Where's the sounds? My voice is already gone. I've been speaking for 2 seconds and my voice is already gone. Where is my water? I found my water. Okay. I have returned. The fucking... I just kind of had to. But like, you don't even know like it just sounds like a nice pluck when it's in this key, especially. Like, you don't know where it's from. Finally. Fucking finally. Alright. So, as you might notice, there's a globals section with only one automation clip in it, and that is a main level EQ for the gain. Because this is the gain that like I mixed the whole track in, and usually what tends to happen with my tracks is the build-ups tend to get louder than the drops, which is an issue. So what I do to mitigate that is I would have the volume be lower for the build-up, and sometimes I might even like make the volume get gradually quieter over time in a way that's not really noticeable, so that when the drop hits it's louder. Because again, you know, the human ear is just comparisons, and so if the drop is louder than what came before it, it sounds loud. then that's simple. If it all sounds the same loud, it's just like your whole track is blown out and it's loud for the sake of being loud. It's not like intentional, you know. But it's also like in hyperflip that tends to happen anyway. Like you can have everything be reading the same loudness level, but still make the drops feel like they are the drops, you know. Like you don't really have to like follow that rule of thumb. It's just for me because I'm like very sort of meticulous about it. Right. So, I wanted to do like some kind of a standard sort of. I wanted it to be standard, but I wanted it to follow the chord progression of what I did earlier. And for a while, all I had was like that's kind of all I really had. But either way, I still want to break that down before I add the fucking lead back in, because the lead is kind of everything. You know, I wanted to like try a little bit with the drums and like do a bit more fills, because I tend to neglect, you know, half decent drum work. Like trying just a little harder than you usually do can kind of net you some great results. Like what is happening here? Oh my god. Holy shit. That is nerdy. Okay, whatever. So drums, right? Simple, right? It's basically that groove the whole time, except for when I add more rides. So the snare is just this snare that I have. I made it at some point. I kind of forgot how. I mean, I know how. Like I was just dragging in random sounds from random packs and trying to find one that sounded like a good transient, sound like a good tail, distort it, and then distort it, and then you distort it, and then wait for this, you distort it, and then you compress it, and then you distort it. But like, I just have that, and I'm like, okay, I want there to be a bit more of a tonal layer. So I'm like, what do I know that's a really distorted tonal layer? Oh, the creativity snare. So so it gives it that like little kind of tonality. Like if I really wanted to be Daria, I'd change the snare every 2 seconds, but I didn't. For the sake of the groove, because that's the most important thing to me. Right. So this is, I'd argue, most of the drop, because I'm not using any like saw chords at all. It's just bass and more bass and more bass. Now these things I tend to make from scratch-ish, unless it's like a preset that I made a while ago. No, the saw bass, it's a preset that I have made a while ago, because like I don't want to. I use this in every project. I'm not gonna remake it. Simple. It's being clipped by the bass clipper, so it sounds like weird, and the master too. So that's like dry, and there's like a bunch of shit happening to it, which can kind of get annoying. But like it's like monitoring, like listening to the bass on its own with a bunch of like clipping on it is always a bad idea. Because it's more about how it's interacting with all the other sounds. That's like the important bit. And that's the golden layer. That's it right there. So this is a super easy thing to make. Super simple. It's a saw and then another one at an octave and a fifth up. And they're both detuned. And then there's you can add a sub and then you just distort it. And then I guess I put a OTT this time. And then I put some pulse width on this to give it a bit more of a. It kind of changes the overtone a little bit. Just a little bit, you know. But that's it. Just layering that over the bass is already like the thickest thing in the world. Admittedly, there is some EQ that goes into it, right? Because you're gonna get some low end, so you have to fucking cut that shit out. You know, I like to, because I'm cutting 300 out of everything. I want like the 2 to 300, like the low mids, to be this like thick layer, so it gives it that like, it just makes it filthier. Just makes it filthier. And then I'm like using my patented, not really, ghetto clip for even more distortion in case there wasn't enough already. And then I'm using this. I'm using a P controller here so that I can control something down the line. I'll explain in a bit. And then I have an EQ again for more high end, as if there wasn't enough already. Right, simple. And then there's a final coup de grace. You can't hear it. You can barely hear it, and then you can hear even less in the final mix, but it's just the crookers. There's the crookers, just the crookers. I'd imagine you know how to make this. If you don't, it's super simple. 2 sines. Normally it's just 2 sines, 2 octaves apart, and then you just kind of do that. Wait, am I high? Yeah. It's 4 octaves apart. I'm stupid. But yeah, that's it. But I just added a 5th. Can also go an octave lower. Which is what I did for this sound. Wait, Jesus Christ. Yeah. Crickers. Very simple. So much texture on bass. It's a very classic sound. It's like people used to make that shit in massive. Like you can make that shit in fucking 3x oscillator and a distortion plugin. It's actually like very, very. It's like one of the staple. It's like one of the things you have to know how to make. You have to know how to do some basic like saw chords. You have to know how to make a reese, and you have to know how to make a crookers at least. You know, maybe some sine. You have to learn how to make like a basic sine pluck. Make that like nitro fun lead where it's like the square that has like the octave as a transient sort of thing. I don't have it here, but whatever. High passive convolver for stereo. It's a white noise, but just really short. Mid side to get rid of all that clipping nonsense. And distortion, more distortion, more, and then EQ to get rid of all that mid shits. The transient is the very beginning of a sound. So, I'm probably shouldn't have said transient because it's a bit longer than a transient, what I'm talking about specifically. But, I mean, the transient in, let's say, this crash would be like this. You know what I mean? That little beginning of that little beginning click. But what I was talking about in Serum is like this fucking thing. Where you open up, a square. Let's do like this. And then you would go like this, and so it goes an octave up, envelope 1/16. You know that thing. There it is. That thing. Very easy to make. It's an octave up, and then you just put on an envelope, do all this shit. It's, come on. If you don't know how to make that, you know how to make it now. And it's a I've heard people call that shit the realer synth, and I think that's the funniest thing in the world. The realer lead. Fucking. All right. Cool. That bass is done, and then I fucking gotta have like a crash, right? No way. I'm stupid. Why are the drums off? This is the worst breakdown in history. You would think I just booted up the stream with like no notes or anything. Cause I... Right. And to tie the groove together, very simple. Very simple. Trip the galloping lasers. And then glass break impact. And this not the COD hit marker sound. Actually, yeah, that is a hit marker. But yeah, that's a hit marker put through 8 OTTs. Did Unkadaria. But yeah, this thing is being controlled by one of the bases. So that peak controller earlier that I glossed over has a purpose, and that purpose is to control the volume of this thing. Where is it? Here it is. Because that was a bit faster than like cutting it manually. Whatever. In TikTok terms, Unk is unisex. To be fair, it is. And then I'm just like, all right, I need more shit to fill this out. By this point in the track, I'm panicking because I have like an intro that's definitely going somewhere. And I don't have like a drop that I think is enough. And I'm like, okay, I need more shit. God. Bring in the default chops. Bring in the chops. You know? I'm just like, oh god, I need like my cheat codes. And like that helps, you know? Because it adds like a vocal layer, I guess. It's something. And it's some like 4 on the floor sort of metronome thing going on, so it kind of adds to the headbang. You know. And by this point, I'm like, all right, fuck, I need something else happening here, and it can't be saw chords. So I come up with stealing the Rotor Pobinson lead. I'm just like, okay, I need to make a super crazy distorted lead and just steal the notes. And then just add one of these little fills at the end of the phrase. I will be here for very short. That is okay. I think the VOD's better too, because you can skip around me like meandering. But yeah, what is this lead anyway? We'll find out because I think that's kind of important. It's the hard lead presets from Harmer. I don't think or Harmless? This one. It's the hard lead preset from this one. Harmer. I don't know if I tweaked anything. At all. I just kind of used that. I'm like, all right, well, let me use a fucking preset for once, because I'm like, I need a lead that I probably can't synthesize. That has a bit of flavor to it. And then I hardly know her. It's funny because it's like, so it's funny, what I added basically did nothing. Well, I EQ'd it slightly, I added a ring mod. Did some mid-side after the ring mod, because the ring mod added some side. Added a delay, which you can hear quite clearly in the final high pass. Not that different. And then like a harmonization. Simple. And then all together now. Awesome. Silence is a tool. Use it. And this is just like a funny fill. I don't know. It's just like it's because I don't gotta explain the fucking joke. Like, and by this point, I'm like, okay, I'm getting lazy. I'm adding in the California Girls acapella and some other fucking default ass. That's for this, so that I can get, because the acapella is playing earlier in the intro as like an intro sound. But like here, it's way louder. And this is why patcher is very important, because I have a drop one patcher that is a bunch of patchers in the patcher. It's a little bit of inbreeding, but I will explain what's happening for this vocal chain inside of a vocal chain. So, for some reason, I'm running everything through a nonlinear filter and this processing chain. I don't even think it's supposed to be on. Is that not supposed to be on? Is that like for, like here? I'm so confused. Did I release this incorrectly? No, it's the outro patcher. That's different. I am so confused. Whatever. I mean, the way I release it is the way I released it. Apparently, I have this thing also running, which is making it quieter, really. But fucking whatever, I guess. It still gets the job done, so... But yeah, no, rest in peace to Burger King foot lettuce guy. So the louder patcher, I'm first using my default chain of processing. Again, I'm using this shit twice. That's crazy. So it's compression, multi-band compression, bit crushing ever so slightly, EQing, and de-essing, as well as adding in some high-end excitement. And then I add in a thing called Game and Sauce, which makes light loudness in two ways, but the same way in both ways. It's confusing, I know. An EQ, one of these, and then bringing it back. So I'm basically just distorting all the frequencies except for this one, putting it through a ghetto clip, which is basically a limiter that has 0 release and attack and sustain and everything. And then I bring back what I took out and kind of reduce what gets clipped so that the actual like notes that she's singing don't distort the rest of the vocal, but like everything else kind of like gets nice and crunched. A little something like that. But yeah, no, it's very like, it's kind of a simple just like automate in a patcher preset and boom, you have a different vocal chain, a different processing chain entirely. You could just like automate in, and I think that is very cool. And I like utilizing that a lot because I tend to use like the same sound in the track. I want it to sound differently, like in a different part of the track. I don't want to make it unique. I don't want to have to waste space making new, because if I don't have any fucking space to waste, right? So like I literally need to be as conservative as possible. I mean, if I really wanted to, I put as much in a patcher as I possibly can, and I used to try to do that, but then I realized that like doing that every single step of the way is too slow. Like sometimes you can forego a bit of your workflow, you know, for the sake of creativity. Okay. So yeah, that's the drop. I mean, like, it's quite simple. I don't know. I don't know why this is still like here. Crucially, I'm also not running this acapella through the bass clipper, because if it were to be run through the bass clipper, then it would be harder to hear over all the distortion. So I want this to kind of poke through the mix literally. by, you know, circumventing all that bass clipping. Which is nice that I'm able to do that, so that, you know, because otherwise it would be like, oh, here, let me just put it in. It's way harder to hear the acapella. It's already like barely audible. It doesn't need to be even more muffled, you know? I think if I made the acapella like louder, it would be a little piercing. Clipping over everything. All right. We made it to the breakdown. I guess it's a bridge. Right. So this is also very simple. There's a bit of a theme here. A lot of these things are, to me, very simple, because they are. Straightforward. I tend to use, instead of using the car crash, I use this. It just has a stronger kick, stronger punch, after the reverse especially. Super strong, you know. Most of the vibes are coming from the sparkle that comes in. Like, that's just an amazing, like, setup and, like, impact. The glass, the chimes, the white noise. Dariacore challenge, but instead of optimizing user experience, you just low-key crank high in volume way up, generally Kabyle mechanism. Yeah. Yeah. Yeah, just hearing lost core. But like no fembread song is complete without an unnecessarily beautiful piano section. I mean, there are some songs that forego this completely because there's no room to dial things back. But like, oops. What? I wish I could like describe the process. I know that the VOD of me making this section is there because I remember making this breakdown live. Peace out, Leo. I hope you have hit like on the stream before you left. I did not refresh the chat, by the way. Oopsies. My faultington. Now you're on screen. I know that I can tell you that I basically write two parts. I write the lower part first. So like if I were to mute all this, for example, you know, I just do that. Basically 4 on the floor, and I fit the higher notes in between those. Right. I just like pretty sounding chords. I don't know. I tend to avoid like predictable notes unless they're in like really powerful places. You know, so like sometimes you do need a very simple major third right there, followed by the 7/9, and then the 5th. It's just a nice little motif. You know, and I just keep the theme going of the... Like, this chord is standard. It's, you know, it's less of like a pretty chord, like a inventive one. It's very simple. Like, because, you know... The the major third, and it's literally just the octave and then the major third again, and then the fifth. But then that little bit of dissonance to set up for this chord. Which I really like. And I decided to just use the same two notes as these two. For the sake of content. Like, I mean, I kind of like continuity like that. Like how I'm able to like completely change the color of the chord while using the same elements of the ones before. Because now we have like a instant sus2 kind of setting up for that like spacey sort of vibe. You know. And then a 7-9, which is the 9 is just a 2 and a higher, but you know, difference. So there's an octave doubling there, which I'm kind of not a huge fan of it, of doubling octaves, but like you gotta do what you gotta do. And then just the fifth. I just like the fifth being the last note in that like sort of cycle. Except for the last chord, obviously, because, you know, the last chord needs to loop into this one. Right? So we go here. And so we just the fifth straight away. Very dominant. That's a bit of an odd one. Like, it sounds like it's gonna go back up, basically. And that's the goal. You know, because the chord progression is actually twice as long. Because it extends to this part. Where it just kind of holds on that chord instead. But like, if I like were to loop this pattern from here, it just kind of loops back. Yeah, apparently Gaster was almost heard for a second. Unfortunately, I don't know the theme too well. What am I doing? No, just do this. Boom. Oops. I have to find the unmute key? That's actually stupid. So for my top melodies, I tend to not variate too much. You know, kind of with the same philosophy as before, where like I'm able to completely change the color based off what's under it, and not change too much about the actual notes, you know, because you don't really need to like justify direction. It just kind of helps tie everything together when there's like still a place of familiarity that you can kind of reference. So I tend to put more of an emphasis on the notes that line up to the actual beats themselves. So the notes that are like here and here like are kind of quieter than the rest because it helps you like it just helps the groove better. Very minor changes. So just changing this note to here to kind of match this chord. You know, for the fifth of that. And instead of going down like I did earlier, it goes up. Simple. You know, just like very simple variation. And I just kind of like the idea of this chord being super dissonant because it is. Because when you land here, it's like it's almost like it's like sucking the soul out of you. Pause. It's like, okay, wait, how do we recover from this? It's kind of like you just get sadder. You just get a little sadder when this chord hits. You know, like there's like just a bit of sinking within you. You know, and part of that is just like super spacey because it just lands on the sus2, goes to the third, and the note below is the sus2 anyway, so it's just super, we're just suspended. It's a suspended chord is what sus is short for. And that dissonance, you know, it really solidifies that like weightlessness. Which I really love. And it kind of just starts to bring you back to life slowly for this section, because it's like the window starts to peer open again. You know, it's still kind of dissonant-ish, but like that little lick kind of, I just love doing those, that lick at the end. Just for it to loop back, you know? You know, and then it would go to this part where it's just kind of like, it just ends on you. Super nice. Lots of reverb. Delay on the third thing. I think I'm doing like a wet dry split on the delay so that I can cut out the highs as well as the lows so that it's not like too intrusive. And then here's like the reverb at the end. So it only really like the delay only really comes in on like the super loud like chord strikes, which is great, you know. Little details. And just the basic ash reese. Just the basic ash reese under it. I will say this reese is a little less than basic because I am using that French low pass filter with a bunch of drive and shit. And there's like a little fifth layer. And I guess a sub layer, not really doing much. You know, for context. And I put, do not kill me, please and thank you. I'll try. I used this thing called the saw bass fix that I made, and I don't recommend doing this in the slightest. Please don't do this. You definitely can, alright? You have free will, but I would advise against it because I think this is ghetto as hell. So what I do is, I arguably think this is like more egregious than taking your sub 100 signal and folding it into mono manually like a fucking idiot. No, I'm joking. Okay, no, but like, I would take the below 100-ish and just compress the fuck out of it. So it's all like one consistent signal, that bass, and I guess it helps for Reese's somewhat. It marginally helps, you know, it's just compression but fancier. And then I increase that by a lot. Just a nice, steady, or about as steady as can be expected, sub signal. And reverb on the higher end, just to give it a bit more room. And then, yeah, that's it. Super simple Reese, super simple. I'm alive, I'm alive, I'm alive. Alright, so this is just a very, like, ethereal sort of processing. My standard vocal chain, mid-side compression on the vocals, and then I add this thing that I called the beauty, which is basically just a wet dry split delay, the same as before, which you can hear there very slowly. I turned it down so you can hear me speak over it. I'm EQing that out so there's, like, again, no low end, so it's just a very faint broom adder. Lowering the gain of that, the output, so that when I go into the delay, it doesn't clip, because the delay is also a clipper for some reason, this fucking piece of shit. But this is my reverb, basically. And then I go and clip it to hell anyway, so that I can, like, I don't know, make the waveform easier to work with. Fucking, I don't know. But that's like basically it. Right, and then I figured that for this part where he goes like bigger, better, stronger, da da da, I'm gonna manually put in like the delay. Right, just kind of solidifies that. And this is the part where it's the second half, right? So I'm like, oh god, I gotta add these drums. So these drums, this break, I used to spam it. I don't as much anymore, but it's very good. I like it a lot. So this drum loop is, say, JKL. I was almost there. You got the idea. Basically it's like some dude did a demonstration with Ableton's like session mode, controlling it and all its parameters with an Xbox Connect on some like Imogen heap, like using his hands to like control like filters and shit and like, you know, plugins. And he was like working with that drum groove and he was like chopping it up, and that's like the cleanest sort of like segment of it that wasn't super chopped up or filtered out or had some other crazy shit on it. And I just use that, I slow it down. As you can see, I chop it up a bit more so that I can use a transient shaper, because if like a lot of the time the transient shaper just doesn't detect the transient, so you have to kind of encourage it by cutting out a sound. Like if I wanted to detect the transient for this and make it a little louder by using this plugin, if it's not being detected, I have to decrease the sound that comes before it. So that's why this is chopped so short. So the beginnings of the sound, all the little ticks and everything can be, as opposed to, notice how that sounds like super soft, you know? Like there's no punch to it, there's no click to it. And that just like has the click to it, you know? That's basically it. That's, you know, making transients better to make drums better. And then I would compress it as well. Obviously the compressor has to have like a high enough attack to let the transient through. And then I put like, you know, wet dry split delay. Should know how I do things here by now. Oh, I named this Shut the Fuck Up by Pink Guy as a song I used to listen. What is the name of this? Shut the Fuck Up by Pink Guy is a song I used to listen to on repeat. Genuinely, it was an interesting time in my life. That is true. I will say, I did put that there when I made the automation clip, and that is not wrong. Right, and so now it's about how do we get from here to the next part, you know? I mean, before we get there, we got to start decorating this a little bit, you know? Maybe filling out that section, because it was a little empty, so I added in this sound that I have lying around. So I spam it sometimes, and it just adds a nice little lush, you know, like a... just in the backgrounds. Barely hear it, but it's there. You know, and then I add this thing in, but like filtered. I have like a post-drop patcher that's doing a bunch of random shit. Basically just automating in some reverb so that it kind of tails out and all that. And then the next part is the risers. So one of them I made homemade, and that's it. One of them I made homemade, and yeah. This bubble riser. I will show you how to make this. Very simple. It's about as easy as you think it is. So, check me out. It's as easy as you think it is. So, this LFO controls the core's pitch and makes it go up. It's like a deadmau5 song. And then I have this mod wheel controlling the rate of LFO1. And I also have the mod wheel controlling the semi-pitch, the semitone pitch very slightly, so that as the thing is like dragged up, it also pitches up slightly. You know what I mean? And that's literally it. That's it. And we're back. And for this section, I just made it twice as long. So I, you know, and decided to fade in domino instead. As like, all right, let's go somewhere else instead. Like, yeah, we're back at the beginning, but how is it different? This is how it's different. We fade in domino. And since I made it twice as long, now I can make this whole section just this verse. Oh. Shut up, shut up, shut up, shut up, shut up. Why is that like that? That was not like that before. Whatever. There's a lot going on. Okay. So, like, not really. It's literally, this is the same exact thing as the intro, except I made it twice as long, and I added in some new acapella. Why? Shut up! You know what I mean? Very simple. It's super cool sounding stuff. But I'm like, alright, we need to start fucking really getting serious. Where's that like piano fill? Not the fill, there's like a piano riser I'm using. I can hear it. Shut the fuck up. Where is it? Oh, there it is. I use this thing sometimes, where it's kind of the same deal. As the other piano sample, except it has no bass, so it's a bit more versatile. The other one, it's locked to certain chords because of the way the chord is played. But this one I can kind of put over whatever. So I just have it as like a... It's kind of the same major chord a car horn would play sometimes. So it kind of has that vibe. So this section. So I'm doing a lot of stuff with the domino vocal, as you could probably hear. You know, I'm like fading it out with like a ring mod, a bit crusher, and like a reverb, basically. Just another patcher. Fake out delay and just a fucking mess. But it is like the same sort of build up concept as Corsa, I think. So it's like kind of the same thing. I got lazy. This is the part of the track where I got lazy, which is why I was always so like kind of apprehensive towards it. But I'm like, all right, how am I gonna cheat my way out of this one? What tips and tricks do I know for myself to be able to just kind of switch up the section to do whatever I want with it? So I have this sample that's a song that I recreated, or I recreated the intro to it. It's called Secret Level by some artist I was signed to Mousetrap. Unless it gets stale. Yeah, no, I know how to use it to where it doesn't get stale. I kind of like save it for myself because things get stale to me very fast. So like sometimes though classics hit the same for a reason. Like I use the sample all the time. I used it in I Am Not Carbine. Just the main sample in that, you know, but I just decided I'm bringing it back. I got really lazy. I just like, I'm bringing the piano back in and I'm filtering it in. So it's like, kind of add something. And you know, the standard fucking, the bass that I was talking about. I guess I was talking about it when I was making it. You know what I mean? And then this thing that I do all the time. This is like a fembread trope, I swear. If I don't stop fucking doing that, I might just explode. Obviously 4 on the 4 claps going the whole time. Snare build up. By this point I start kind of reverbing out and like frequency shifting the beeper vocal. And then I'm adding in like this fucking thing. I know that as the Lil Pump. I don't know why. I just think of D-Rose. Cause that's the thing he used. I just hear that and then I hear, oh, 80 on my wrist, 100 on my wrist, 80 on my wrist, 100 on my wrist. I gotta, wait. Things to sample. Am I fucking stupid? D-Rose. I don't like, what if I find okay, anyway. But yeah, and then you gotta add this stop acting. I think I just ripped this from the song. You know. And then I added the same fucking stupid ass Half-Life Alyx sound. And finally we're here at the fucking second drop. A lot of people said ew to this. Ugh. So filthy, so dirty, so hard. Now, there's a reason why I say all that sarcastically. It's because I'm still, like, whatever about the second drop. Like, it's kind of, you know, not that it's oh, run its course, it's old news. No, it's like that it never grew on me. But I'll describe the process as best as I can, because this shit is lagging hard as hell. So I know that for the earlier section, I used a softer sidechain because I thought a hard sidechain would be a little egregious for a section like that. But for this section, a hard sidechain is what I need. It will lag. You know, because it's a super distorted kick. It's going to be like a super choppy section. So I'm like, okay, I need a new sidechain. And there's this thing I do when there's like an off kick where I'm like sidechaining out the low end only for some reason. That's some nerd shit so that I can reduce mud. Because if I didn't do that, then it'd be muddy. Oh wait, let me try to listen like carefully. It's you can barely tell. It's clipping so hard you can barely tell the difference. That's how insignificant that shit is. But whatever. So drums first, because that's what I really started with. Well, drums and bass, I guess. I just like, all right, I want to do one of those. Like it's like ghetto Brazil. When I laid this drum down, I'm like, I instantly got the feeling like, oh, this isn't gonna work. This is gonna sound like shit. And I put this shit down, and I think I just put the OG bass down. There's a lot of layering happening here. There's a lot of layering happening here. I think I obviously I started with fucking this piece of shit. You know, just like figuring out the groove. Like I know I'm gonna do that. Simple. Mm-hmm. And then the crickers. I don't think I bother making a new pattern for it. I just use the old one. I just chop it up. And I'm like, okay, I know it's gonna start with like a sub drop sort of. You know, like, all right, we're getting somewhere, kind of. And I know I want to do like a fill bass. This shit took me forever. Like, I'm just not the greatest at sound designing. So it took me forever to figure out, like, no, this isn't the bass. Oh my god, it is. It's a saw. Or it's two saws. I thought it'd be cool, like more complex. Oh, what? 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 What did I do? Wait. What? What the fuck is this? What is this? What did I do? Wait. Huh? Okay. Let's figure this out together. I just saved it. Oh, I'm actually dumb as rocks. Why did I save it? Whatever. Okay. So I'm fuck. All right. No, one at a time. One effect at a time. Simple. So it starts off with just an EQ. Right? It's very simple. Nothing crazy too far. I think I use a transgate to like further groovify it, just, you know, tighten up those waveforms. And then I use the stereo convolver white noise trick to get that sound, I guess. All right, cool. And then do I do it again? I do it again to get like a bit more of a tail. And then I put it through a non-linear filter because I love doing that, just to like distort the high end. You know, crunch it up a bit, and then I put it through Soundgeyser because I think it's funnier than using an OTT. And it sounds crazy. Alright. And then I put it through a Game & Sauce to make it a little louder. Cool. And then I put it through an EQ to kind of increase the mids a bit. And then I put it through an OTT, which kind of, it's negligible what it's doing. And then I put it through another Game & Sauce. And then that's it. And then I distort it some more. And then I end up using the LFO tool anyway to further chop it up. And then I EQ it again. And that took me a very long time, I remember. But it was worth it because then I had a fill that I could just slightly change. You know what I mean? Just, you know, just kind of, and it would fit. And then I knew I wanted to use another another bass too. This one took forever because it's like I'm just bad at making this sort of bass for some reason. But I figured it out. It's like an FM sort of thing. Filter. And that's it. And then, you know. Very rudimentary. I'm even using a normal low pass. I wonder, it's low 24. I wonder what would happen. No, no, no. Don't, please don't be cooler. Oh no. Well, I should have used the French low pass. Oh, live and learn, right? But anyway, that's just like that. That's it. That's the whole groove. And I made that. I'm like, okay, well, I made what I wanted to make, for more or less. And now what the fuck else do I do? I have to like fill it in with shit to justify the shit being there. So first order of business, let's fix that impact. You know, it's just bass. I want there to be a chord that also bends. So it sounds nice. And then I also wanted to add like an offbeat, like square thing. You know. I'm like, all right, well, it's coming together. I still kind of don't feel the headbang yet. Let me just make it louder real quick. You know, it's like it's empty as hell. And wait, where's the fucking no comment? Oh, there it is. It's not even a no comment. It's just a fucking. It's that stupid ass bass. It's literally just this. It's just a saw with a fucking filter sweep. Come on. I think I'm like, all right, well, let me go with old reliable. Okay, so impact and just, you know, hit markers. And it kind of helped, you know, the little fill sound. But I'm like, okay, this needs more. It just needs more. At the time, this wasn't here. And it's like, it's coming together. And then I just started adding like the Kesha chops and everything. For this section, it's like, I don't know what the fuck I'm even doing here. I'm just making drums up. I know I wanted to do like a kick clap, like it would be like a boom, 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 boom. And what used to be the snare became like an offbeat sort of like accent to what the beat would actually feel like. Which I admit has a nice groove. It's like a good old back and forth sort of thing, which is kind of the point. But like I'm just kind of doing that ad nauseum. I think I'm like by this point I'm spamming the hit markers because like the gallop doesn't work anymore. I need more. You know, but like it helps, I guess. I don't know. and I added the secret level thing because I panicked. I'm just like, I need more shit. And by this point, I'm just like, I'm just adding shit. I'm like panicking. The Katy Perry vocals in there. I'm like, what more could I add? I'm like, okay, well, I guess we're adding in the fucking. No, the Kesha vocals in there, but I'm like, okay, well, I guess I need the Katy Perry vocal now. So I decided to make a very standard fucking chop. Very normal ass chop. You know, just to kind of go around everything else, and I think it like chops okay. And it just kind of completes it just enough. And I'm like, even when I listen to this, I'm like, what's missing? Like, I don't know. Like, I still don't feel like this is complete. I'm like, it just sounds empty. I don't know. That fill is cool though. Because it's the chess.com fill. You know, just a snare, chess.com, and then the Martin Garrix snare to the laser. You know, with the bass there too, why not? But that's basically it. And then the outro is just pad, which is this thing. The lush, I'm fading in the pad. I'm remodding the acapella and bit crushing it. I'm putting in the bubbleizer, all this bullshit. You already know. It's pretty audible what I'm doing in this section and the Reese from earlier. I do a little thing though. It's kind of hard to hear. Where the Reese like kind of, well, it's supposed to like have like a slight pitch bend up as it impacts, but you kind of can't hear it over everything. And just another patcher preset for the outro, which is where all these effects reside.
Feels good to be.
I don't know what the hell like is even the context of this fucking sound, but it's moments before disaster apparently. And yeah. That's the whole track. I mean, I went about as in depth as demand requires. You know, I feel like not a whole lot of people who are still here after all that. But look, I hope you liked, because I'm doing this again. And it's going to tank my analytics, and I know that it's going to tank my analytics. I'll try to see if I can clip post from here and like, you know, get some motion on the shorts or something, maybe some people to watch or whatever. But until then, you know, I'll just be here breaking this stuff down for you, for your learning pleasure. And if you're a VOD watcher, if you want something a bit more broken down, like maybe I wasn't as detailed as you'd like me to have been for a particular section, particular sounds, or it's just some general question, you know, there's a comment section. But I'm going to assume everyone here in chat is kind of all good on questions. You know, maybe they've been overloaded, if anything, with information, which I tend to do that. I tend to be a little all over the place. It's the only way this music gets made, really. But I'm going to assume you're good on questions. You know, if you have anything that you must inquire about, you know, this is your time. You have the floor. if you're awake and conscious and you're not prodded by JX2, because I think Mars over here doesn't have any fucking questions, which is okay. But I think I went over with I think I went over everything. Yeah, I think I went over everything in this track. It took a long time to make. Let me project info. An embarrassing amount of time, 21 hours. I'd take way too long to make my tracks. All right. Well, that was that. Thank you so much for tuning in. I'll be back tomorrow midnight for the next track to break down. And it means these breakdowns will be going on for half the month because there are 6 tracks. So, sorry, not sorry. It's been that long already? It's been an hour and a half. Yeah. All right, I go now. Good night, everyone. I see you tomorrow midnight.